Well, howdy guys, welcome back. I feel like I'm having deja vu. It's like every time I start a video, deja vu. Well, killed that intro, but that's fine. Because on today, you see me keep looking down. You know what I'm looking at. No, I'm not looking at my angry caterpillar. I'm looking at my... Damn it. I'm looking at my headers. And, yep. So, been staring at these. That one's okay. This is the one that's really needing heavily fixed. Let's just kill this. Yeah. Where's the flashlight at? Alright, we got a flashlight. Oh yeah. Look at that. Well, it's a good thing the crack doesn't snake up underneath. Too bad. Nope, it does. And it goes up into there. And then, nice little Y. That looks kind of cool. But yeah, we're going to try and beat this back in. And then we're going to have to try and weld that without hopefully blowing through. And then I'm probably going to make a little patch. Try to make a patch that'll go around that. And I still got to clean the headers a lot. Let's see, which tube was it that had all the cracks in it? It's this one. So like that one, there's a big old crack right there in that wrinkle. And like I said, I got to go over these header tubes, fine tooth comb, wire wheel, and find everything that could be wrong with them. And I do know all these tubes are pushed back a little bit. You can see some of the wrinkling. Like this header tube, you see how close it is, how tight of a bend that is. Used to not be that tight. It's always been tight, but not that tight. Then you can look down in that tube and yeah. Oh well. We might come in here and beat some of this and fix some of this where it's gonna be an ugly. Oh, is that more crack? Look at me, I'm looking for crack. That might be a crack. I think that is a crack right there. That's got a nice little ridge to it. Oh, yep, that's gonna be fun. So I guess let's get at it. Well, hopefully your guys' ears aren't ringing as bad as mine because a lot of hammering, a lot of beating, a lot of welding, a lot of blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so this header, we had to fix a little pinhole right there, and then up there was a crack. I'm going to address that weld a little bit, not much. And right here is where our torsion bar was hitting. I went to town, and we also had some clearancing right here. Went to town on it too. So they should fit better. This side is the one with the broken tube. That's welded the inside and out, and I actually welded this tube all the way on the bottom side of the flange because the header tube was kind of well, we'll just show you. It looked like someone had done some clearancing in the past, and they had just about shut this tube off almost. And I got to clean up in here a little bit, do a little port work, but the whole top of it was caved in and the sides were caved, so I went ahead, oh, there's a little crack I missed. Ooh, gotta get that guy. But I opened up the header tube back open the way it's supposed to be instead of being all collapsed, because it makes a hell of a sharp bend immediately. And well, I want to correct as much of that as possible, so it should flow better now. And like I said, welded all up underneath there. And oh wow, that weld is hideous. But of course the factory weld had a bunch of splatter too, so. But yep, got that one fixed. And then up underneath this tube right here, it was just about worn completely through, so I filled it all full of weld, beat it with the hammer, and then contoured it with the burr, and looks pretty good. See, I don't think I had to do anything to this tube too drastically. I went ahead, took a hammer. Oh, I got to do to this one too. Where this tube is kind of moved a little bit, I need to clearance it so that, no, the header bolt will be fine. it was that side. Had to fix it, but they're all pre-clearanced. I went ahead and smoothed out some of the hammer marks and clearanced it just a little bit more so we have a little more room. Hopefully we won't be hitting here no more. I should probably come in and, yeah, I need to do this part right here. Just round that out too. And after that, you know, clean these babies up really good, repaint them, and let them bake. That's one thing you got to do with these headers. You got to bake the paint on, which we'll get out the MAP gas torch. We'll get some oxygen and acetylene, put in our bottles, and bake these on like this. That way the paint's hard, and then we'll heat cycle them on the car too. So, well, see you in a minute. Alrighty, guys. So, don't mind the mask. I'm wearing the mask as I sand these headers down. I just want to say this. Thank you guys at Bad Tree for the awesome sandpaper again, and for the sweet ass stickers. You guys don't know who Bad Tree Productions is? Go look them up on YouTube and watch their video. Watch any of their videos more than this one, because this video is no good. It's just me cleaning headers. So go check them out and check back in with me in about 5 minutes, and give them a like, subscribe to them. They're super cool folks. Like I said, hooked me up with enough sandpaper to do 1,000,000 sets of headers, or at least one car. Actually, there's enough there to do cars for the rest of my life. So, all right, let's make these things pretty. Guys, here in handheld mode. Look at them hands holding the camera. They are as clean as I can get them. Not worrying about the flanges too much. Went at them with the wire wheel, which is actually not much of a wire wheel no more. All the wire bristles are gone. That's perfect though. And then use sandpaper to really give them a little key. Then we're going to take oxyacetylene torch, make sure there's no more little holes while they're like this, and then we'll preheat them, splash them with paint, and then we'll do a tempering of the paint and everything as you're supposed to with header paint. Got to bake it on. But here's a little nice detail. You can see each tube is stamped Hedman, 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 Hedman. And these are part number 75 330. You can't buy these no more, but if you want a set of headers like this, I know they're a pain to fit, but they're damn good headers. The new part number 75 435, and they're almost an identical copy. The only thing different is they made them to where you choose which tubes you cut off. It's a slip-on collector, which I like a lot more. But $900. But for $900, you know, your options are pretty wide. But honestly, you know, having played with a bunch of different headers, if you need 2-inch primaries, I wouldn't waste the money on TTI. See, the problem with TTI, I'm gonna go and say it, is their back tube is real short. Get a picture of the TTI 2-inch primary headers and compare it to the cheapest pair of headers you can find, like Jake's House brand, whatever, Summon House brand. It's the exact, almost the exact same tube routing, but the back tube is just scaled up in diameter. Whereas these guys, you know, you get nice little swoopy bends and flows. These are real tuned headers. And I know a lot of guys, well, you don't need those. Engine only makes 600 horsepower and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? If I'm going to spend $900 on headers, I'm going to buy this brand. There's more effort in these things, and I've talked to the guys at Hedman, and they're a lot better than Doug, to say the least. So, well, let's make these pretty. Alrighty, guys, so headers are all wiped down. It's like 3 days later. But yeah, the headers are completely wiped down, cleaned, and tubes are fairly cold, so we're gonna get Dad's service truck in here with his torch, because our torch bottles are damn near empty. We're gonna give all the tubes a nice little preheat, taped off where they slip fit into each other. Space heater's running. We're gonna leave it run for a long time, and we're gonna get this paint put on here, We'll let it set up, we'll bake it on, and yep, fun. Alrighty guys, you just saw me paint those headers, and my eyes are on fire from all the paint fumes and everything else in the garage. So I'm just going to give you a quick walk around of what they look like right now. I took 2 whole cans, lay them on light and everything. In fact, look, my hands are white, my arms are white from paint. But I'm going to show you, I'm not going to talk a lot. I'm just going to show you what they look like right now, and then I'll let these sit for a couple of days like this and heat, and then we'll come back with the rosebud. And once the rosebud is once we have the rosebud again, his dad's got to take his truck to work shit, we're gonna preheat the headers. You know, if you had an oven, you could preheat them like that, bake the paint on, but that's the main key to getting header paint to stick, is to bake it on. You can do it with an engine. As soon as the engine gets up to temp, as soon as you start the engine up and the headers start to smoke, is when you want to kill it. And you want to do that about 3 or 4 times, and you want to do that until they stop smoking, and that's baking them on. You definitely don't want to paint headers and put them on a fresh engine that you got to break in. You'll burn the paint right off. And so if we can do as much as possible while they're out of the car, that'll make the paint more resilient to scratching and burning off and everything. So we'll do that while they're out of the car. Let's go look at them and not die. Dying isn't good for your health, if you didn't know that. My doctor told me that once. Tape right there. There's the big repair. We had all these tubes heated up to about 400 or 500 degrees, and we let them slowly cool down, and then we'd hit them again with the torch, as you saw. The only ones we didn't hit again were these separate tubes, but they were fine. They didn't need it. I want to make sure the paint really stuck to these headers here, the main tubes. So, alrighty, there they are. Alrighty, well, 2 to 3 days later, paint's nice and hard. I can't even scratch it with my fingernail, which is a good thing. And they've just been hanging up out here. We left the space heater running like all night, keeping the garage nice and toasty after I painted everything. Hey, don't you be swinging and swaying now. Just chill out. Everything looks pretty good, just how I wanted it. And, well, as planned, Dad's got the service truck home. And we're going to get the big rosebud out like I used to preheat all the header tubes. Now we're going to try and bake this paint on without burning the paint off. And like I said, with the old paint, I don't know if I told you, but there was paint down in these crevices I couldn't get. And I tried burning it out with the rosebud. But the paint was so resilient that I literally got the header tubes red hot, but the paint wouldn't come off by flaking. So hopefully paint the same way with this new paint. So we're going to get her all heat tempered and baked on, and hopefully not have flaky paint when we put these in the car. Alrighty, well, we ran out of acetylene, which story of our lives, but pretty good opportunity to take a break. And a visual key you will want, and it's going to be kind of hard to see, is you want the bright white, which is this, as you can see, bright white, to turn this slightly eggshell off white. And I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but yeah, you basically want to get, we had Dad running the temp gun over here. You can pay attention, we're running across the tubes. We wanted to get them to about 350, maybe 400 degrees. That one's still at, about 300. And all we're doing is we're basically baking the paint off. If you had an extra oven or something, you could bake it on in an oven, but we don't have an oven we can do this in that we don't eat out of. So we'll just, we'll use a giant rosebud. And I guess the next time you see these headers, they'll be going on Jezebel, which is actually snowing. It's cold. You can see my breath. Yeah, it's that cold out. So I'm going to crank the space heater back on, keep this place kind of warm. Never mind, screw it. It can stay chilly out here.
Don't go, baby.
Really? So before we head out, I just want to show you guys, we got more acetylene, and we gave these headers a really good cooking. And in fact, you actually see some of the header tubes are kind of glossy now from where we got the tubes like up to like, what was it, 500 degrees, Dad?
Yes, 500, 450, 500.
So, made a hell of a difference when we had actual acetylene. So, well, I think we got them cooked on pretty good, all the paint. There's some of these areas where it gets a little white residue on your hand. Then you come up here, see, hands clean. And you can see like a small rainbow, like the oils from the paint were coming up. Nothing. I think we're going to try and get all the tubes to that level. Get it past the chonky phase.
Without burning them.
Without burning them. I scorched a couple of the tubes, as you can see, like right there. So we're going to give them one more going. And like I said, you can actually visually see a change in the color when they start getting the right shade. Like, maybe like down here, you see that's kind of still a bright white. But when you get up into here, it's this beautiful eggshell. And I don't know how well the camera will pick that up. You can see the gloss to it. I think that's what we want to go for.
A little bit darker.
Yeah, so it's real tricky, and not everybody's gonna have a giant rosebud like that, I understand. But if you got an extra oven or something, you know, bake them on, or even a MAP gas torch. But having a rosebud is much handier than using like a torch head, because you gotta have that wide flame. So what do you say, Dad? We get everything lit up and
A little smoke to it.
a little smoke to it. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about this color change. So as you see, that tube's already kind of yellowed. We're going to heat this tube until that white turns kind of an off-white, almost yellow color. What that is the metal underneath actually changes colors and starting to glow. And as that cools, that'll turn into that kind of glossy sheen. And that's like sufficiently baked on, like Harold and Kumar. Nobody else gets the joke here. Yep, okay, Michael gets it. Dad's time it'd be dazed and confused. Yeah, you can kind of see the color change, and that'll cool off into that nice kind of cool blue. So that's how you do it. Just a lot of time sitting here doing this shit over and over and over. And this should hold the paint on, because this rosebud's burning a lot hotter than any kind of exhaust temperature will ever get to. And if your exhaust temperature's hotter than this rosebud, you're probably melting things. So we're getting the header tubes up to about 600 degrees, and that ought to be sufficient. That's just what we're heating the tubes up to. That's not what the rosebud's heating about. That's not what the rosebud's burning at. But I'm gonna put you guys down and get my other hand on this rosebud. It's kind of a pain in the ass to operate one-handed.
Real bad. We're about my toolbox.
Yeah, look at that. Looks like a freaking episode of Cheech and Chong in here.
I was about to die over there.
Good God. I got something on the camera. Oh. There we go. That's much better. Okay, header tubes are done. I'm sufficiently suffocating. I don't know if you guys can see all the smoke in here, but
I had the door open for a minute.
yeah, it's
And it just shut again.
pretty smoky in here. It's probably back what the garage used to look like when Dad was a kid. But just want to show you guys, header tubes are all baked on. Hopefully now they're not shedding paint no more, not all flaky, so it's good. That's kind of what we're trying to do. And as you can see, all the tubes got kind of a nice little sheen to them, which is kind of what I was going for. But hopefully you take something away from that. Hopefully these headers don't leak. They shouldn't leak. But regardless, we saved ourselves $900. Dad, what do you guys say about that?
Ouch.
Don't touch that fucking end again. Why do you keep touching that
I
end?
don't know.
Well, what do you guys say about the headers?
I hope they hold the paint. I think they will.
Yeah. Where'd Michael go? Did he vanish?
He went outside out of the smoke.
Michael, get your butt in here so we can close out this daggone video since you showed up. Thank you.
Yeah, here.
What the? No. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. And as always, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
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 Okay, that's a good ending. See you later.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I ran out of acetylene.